Welcome to DrupalEasy Show and Tell, where I attempt to use or do something in Drupal that I've never used or done before. Now, demoing things like this is something I've been doing for years during DrupalEasy office hours. DrupalEasy Show and Tell is a little bit different. I've got some expert help. Each episode, I'll have a guest that just so happens to be a subject matter expert for whatever it is that I'll be playing with. Now, before we begin, I want to make sure you know about our live online classes. We have regularly occurring sessions of our 2-week professional single directory components class, as well as our 15-week professional module development class and our 12-week Drupal Career Online beginner focused course. For specific dates and pricing, you know what to do. Head on over to DrupalEasy.com.
Hey there, welcome to DrupalEasy Show and Tell. I'm Mike Anello, as always, and joining me today is Darren Oh. Darren, how's it going?
Going great. Thanks, Mike.
Sure. So Darren is the volunteer maintainer. Is that a good way of saying it, of Drupal Forge?
Yes.
For Drupal Forge, which we're going to be playing with today. Darren's been a long time Drupal community member. He is based here in Florida with me and we work together on Florida Drupal Camp. And yeah, just always nice to see you, Darren. And you are a senior software engineer with Cognizant, correct? And what kind of stuff do you do with them?
I maintain the Drupal 7 e-commerce platform for Estee Lauder.
Drupal 7. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
Sorry. All right. Well, we're definitely not talking about that today. So we're talking about Drupal Forge, which some of you may have some familiarity with. If you go to drupalforge.org, you could launch a Drupal CMS in the cloud in, I mean, it's seconds. It's crazy how fast it is these days. That's not really the point of what we're doing today, although I did want to mention it. And there's all kinds of what do we call? You call them these starter kits?
We call them demos.
Demos, all kinds of demos that you can launch, all pretty quickly, all with Drupal Forge. So that's one of the things that you can do with Drupal Forge. What we're going to do today is we are going to use Drupal Forge in conjunction with Drupal contribution. So there exists, and I'm in Chrome. There exists a Drupal Forge extension, helper extension. And Darren, I think you had something to do with this one as well, right?
Basically, took the logo, Drupal Forge logo, and added it. It's based on the Drupal pod extension, and just had it send all those parameters to Drupal Forge that it was sending to Gitpod.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So this is a free extension. You can install it on Chrome and Firefox. Is there one for
Chrome,
Safari?
Firefox, and Safari.
Oh, okay, and Safari as well. Yeah, so Drupal Forge, I guess one thing that we should mention about Drupal Forge is with Gitpod evolving, going away, changing, I'm not sure where that stands right now. Not stable, we'll say. Drupal Forge is trying to fill that gap of being able to provide a very easy way for contributors to spin up a Drupal site specific to a specific issue on Drupal.org. So that's what Darren's talking about when he basically said that he took the Drupal pod extension and tweaked it a little bit and sends all that data to Drupal Forge, and then those remote development environments get spun up on Drupal Forge hardware. Which, by the way, I guess I do want to mention Dev Panel as well. I mean, that would kind of be wrong if we don't mention Dev Panel. So tell us the relationship between Dev Panel and Drupal Forge real quick, Darren, before we get into it.
Yeah, none of this would be happening without Dev Panel. I talked to several vendors at DrupalCon, and Salim at Dev Panel was the one who really said, I have an idea how we can make this happen. At the time, I was just looking at a way to turn something like Drupal pod into ready-made demos that could eventually become live sites, and hoped that would enable Drupal contributors to sell Drupal services to support their projects. So Yeah, Dev Panel is paying for all the free demos that we're doing right now. We do have a few donors that donate a small amount, but the vast bulk of it is sponsored by Dev Panel, and we are using their software to spin up all of our demo sites.
Right. They're the engine behind this all.
Right.
That's safe to say.
Right.
Okay, great. Okay. Very good. Okay, well let's just get into it then. So this is just an issue on the Markdown Easy module. It's a module I maintain. It's actually just about ready to be merged, but it's a pretty good issue. I think it's a little bit meaty. And really the content of the issue isn't all that important for what we're going to do, but for those of you that are interested and looking at the title, Markdown Easy, the release version today, doesn't have a plugin architecture. This merge request turns it into a plugin architecture, which is actually it's a really good piece of code here that we've been working on. Actually, I should mention Joe Fitzgerald and James Shields, and then I've just come in at the end to, toss some grenades and say, oh, I don't like the way that's done, or change this, or just little things like that. But we're just about ready there. I had a couple questions that I asked in the past week or so that I think James actually answered, but I honestly I haven't even looked at the answers yet because that has nothing to do with what we're going to do today. What we want to do today is we want to get this particular merge request up and running, not on my local, but in a Drupal Forge environment. So if you're imagining, at a Drupal event, whether it's a camp or a meetup or a con, you have a potential volunteer, rather than having to work with them on getting DDEV installed and all of that stuff, and then cloning Drupal or cloning the module down and checking out the issue fork and all that stuff. If all that could go away, and you can just click a couple buttons and have a development environment looking at this merge request, that removes a lot of the friction for potential contributors. And that's exactly what Drupal Forge is going to do here. So with
Yeah,
the
I've been at
extension,
contribution days where new contributors spend the whole contribution day just getting DDEV set up and never got to
yeah,
test anything.
yeah, and or just cloning down core, cloning down an issue fork, or just learning like what is an issue fork.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's there's a lot of friction there. So once you have the extension installed, you get a little, well, number one, go to an issue page. Um, do you have to be logged into Drupal.org?
No,
No,
it
okay.
just requests it because that's a good practice.
Yeah, okay. So I am logged in there as well. I'm also logged in on, I do have a free account on Drupal Forge. I don't have any special access, so I am logged in to my free account on Drupal Forge. And if you're on a Drupal.org issue page and you go to the extension, you'll get this little pop-up. Oh, and this is new. I haven't seen this little help before.
Yes, Vinay from Drupal Camp Pune did some work on it.
Oh, fantastic. All right. All right. I understand. Don't. I'm gonna leave that. Show it again. I don't care. So are these the same X?
Yeah,
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
it's supposed
I
to be a shadow, I think.
I can't won't go away. Oh no. There we go. All right. I got it away. Oh, so this one looks a lot slicker than last time I saw it, so that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So basically it knows that I'm on a module, Markdown Easy. This is the current branch, and it's pulled in the issue fork that we want to utilize. And then what we have to say over here is what do we actually want our development environment to pull? So we're going to select the branch, and there's only one branch here. It's this one right here. So that's this. So I'm going to select that. It works with both merge request, branches, issue forks and branches, or patches. I guess they're both first-class citizens, right? With
Yeah.
Drupal Forge. Yep. Okay. You can select a profile to install. I'm just going to go with, in this case, we don't really need to look at the UI. So I'm going to go with minimal just to make things go a little bit faster. Really, the goal for today is to run the PhpUnit tests um, in this Drupal Forge environment. Because
And if you choose none, it will not run the Drupal installer for you. You have to do that yourself.
oh, okay, that is a good tip. I've never actually chosen none, so um, and then the version of Drupal core. So not quite the latest, but pretty up to date. And I guess that's just something that has to be updated occasionally on the extension and on the Drupal Forge side of things.
It's on my to-do list to use the Drupal.org API to update
Okay.
this, but for now it's hard-coded.
Okay, no problem. All right. So let's open a dev environment, and I'm going to look at my clock right now. It's 15 after. We're going to roughly. Um, so it opens up in Drupal Forge. It kind of gives you all this information about what it's about to do. You agree and launch. And so what is this doing in the background, Darren?
In the background, it is spinning up a container. So it takes a Drupal pod image that we've created, and it's building that image, assigning a database to it. So we use hosted database. So data, and then it runs the Drupal installation scripts, whatever for the profile you selected.
And
At
so
that
this is
point,
kind of the, oh, go ahead.
then it also, okay, so in the image, Drupal may already be installed. If you, and so it'll look at the version of Drupal that you chose. If you chose a higher version, it'll run Drush update. And it will also put in the repos folder the code for the module that you're working on.
Yeah, that's important. That's an important little bit that I always have to teach whenever I show Drupal Forge. So that's actually one thing I don't forget anymore. I used to
Yeah.
always have to remember, like, okay, where's the branch checked out?
Randy Fay is suggesting that we make VS Code Editor open that folder instead of the root folder. We just
Yeah.
haven't gotten to that yet.
Yeah. No, I think it's one of those things that once you know it and do it once or twice, it's just become second nature.
Hmm.
So this is the dev panel interface. So like we said earlier, that Drupal Forge is using dev panel in the background. And there's a little note here in yellow that, so this environment is basically going to be up and running for 6 hours by default. But you can extend it if you need to, or you can pause it. And if you want to work on that same merge requests, um, um, over a longer period of time. One thing we're not going to be doing today, but let's talk about this while we have a minute. Let's say I want to make a change. I'm not planning on making a change. Let's say I want to make a change to that branch. Um, is there anything special I have to do to enable to push it back to
Yeah, you
Drupal.org?
got to go to code dot or drupalcode.org, I think it is, and get yourself a token.
Let's get dot, isn't it get dot get dot
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
code.org. There we go.
Yeah.
So come here, and I don't remember how to do it off the top of my head,
It
but
might be in security settings, or it
setting.
could be in your profile. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why we're doing this. Let's see. Preferences or profile? What do you think?
Probably preferences.
Preferences. Go to preferences. Yeah, there we go. Access tokens.
Yes.
Right. So we would need to add a new token, and then Drupal Forge will prompt us for that token when we try and push. Is that correct?
I don't remember. Let me
All right.
see.
Well, if we have time, we'll
I
do
usually
it.
go to your page that you put up that explains how it works.
Yeah, I guess we could. I mean, yeah. DrupalEasy.com, Drupal Forge. Yeah, it is on there. Yeah, let's see. No, it's not. Let's see.
It's in the Drupal pod documentation. That's where I usually find it.
Oh, all right. Well, here. Well, while we have a minute, let's do that. So, how do I get there, Darren?
You go to drupal.org/project/DrupalPod.
Go to
And
documentation down
then,
here.
yeah,
This one right here, right?
yes, yes.
And then
That first one, DrupalPod plus Drupal Forge.
all right. And then let's see. Yeah, there you go. When you make a push, VS Code, which we'll see in a moment inside Drupal Forge, will prompt you for your username and password. Use your username, in my case, Ultimike, in your case, Darren O. And don't use your Drupal.org password, just use the token for the password.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and it's important to do your user email and username config before you do a commit.
Right. Right. And I'm sure that these, kind of reducing this friction is kind of on the future roadmap, possibly for Drupal Forge. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. All right. So let's see where we are. Are we okay? There we go. All right. So here's another little tricky thing. And if we can click on this and see the site. It's not going to be anything to look at. We're not going to use it through the UI at all, but there it is with the minimal. So here's our environment up and running on DrupalForge.app. Another little manual step here is you've got to, in order to open up your editor inside of the web browser, you need a password. So literally it's just click the copy to clipboard, click open application, and it's going to prompt you for that password and hit paste. So I could ask you, Darren, why we have to go through that, but I don't think it's going to be that interesting. So for now, let's just say it's something we have to do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to wait another minute or two here. And our timing doesn't really matter because I kind of, and we're going to trust everything. We kind of got sidetracked a little bit with the personal access token, but we still have to wait a little bit here just for a minute or two. I'm going to open up the command line, and this looks exactly like VS Code. A lot of people call it VS Code, but it's something called Code Server. Is it Microsoft
Yeah.
Code Server or Visual Code Server?
It's the open source code server.
Okay.
Server.
Right. So how do we know when we're ready? At this point, are we ready? Because it used to be
We
long.
are.
Okay, so we are ready here. So at this point, we could do stuff like drush status, right? And we are connected.
Yeah.
If I'm working on an issue fork for a module, is that module automatically enabled?
Yes.
Okay, so the module is enabled. If I wanted to, I already got rid of it. Let's see, I'll open it. But if I wanted to log in here, is it just admin or?
Yes.
Admin. So we can log in, and yeah, okay, I'll change my password right away. So we can come here, and we're using minimal, which is Stark. So, and in this case, just to show, if we go to Markdown Easy is indeed enabled. So we got that going for us. All right. So DDev, Drupal 5, I'm looking at DDev there. Drupal Forge puts us right in the project root, as you can see. And as we mentioned a minute or so ago, another little important bit of information to know is that your issue fork that you want to work on is automatically pulled and checked out and everything, and it's located in the repos directory. So if you open up repos, then you see Markdown Easy. This is the code to work on. And if we go to our command line, we can do cd repos and then Markdown Easy. And if you do a git status, I always do this. I'll make this a little bit bigger. I always do this just to make myself feel better, I think, and hit enter. And you can see I'm on that branch, 3539157. 3539157. I am on the issue fork with the same issue ID. Yeah, so here is the issue fork, and here is the issue branch. I think everything I said there was fair, right, Darren?
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, so a hurdle that I often have, and I know that, I've talked to you about this, I've talked to Salim about this, who's the guy behind DevPanel. Sal, he goes by Sal as well, is I would love it if I could just run, and I'm going to go back to the project root because that's the way I roll. If I could just run PhpUnit, and by the way, this repos, correct me if I'm wrong here, this gets symlinked into the proper location. Right?
Yes, Composer does that.
Composer does that. Right. Okay, so I can do PhpUnit web / module / contrib / markdown easy / tests / where did it go? It's off the window here. If I keep typing, oh gosh. If I close this, I don't want to change the size of my window. Can I, how do can I close this
I
side?
think it's at the bottom.
Oh, this little thing right here, right?
Maybe not.
Can I just minimize? There we go. How about that?
Can, yeah.
Markdown easy / test / src / unit. Right? Ideally, I want to be able to do this. And I want to run tests and say, yeah, you can't do that. Okay, well, maybe, and I go through this every, oops, sorry. Maybe I just need to do vendor bin PhpUnit. And yes, but, it's not finding things, right? And that basically, and because I've been through this a few times, that's because I'm in the project root and there is no phpunit.xml configuration file. So, and I know that this is somewhere on the backlog for Drupal Forge. And Darren was asking me about this. We talked about this the other day briefly. So this is how I do it. So normally what I do is I will, let's see, allow. Okay. So I want to create a new file, phpunit.xml. And I've just got, I know you can't see it, but I'm just going to copy and paste it. I have a phpunit.xml file that I use for my projects generally. I'm just going to paste it in here. And this is nothing more than a Drupal 11 phpunit.xml file. And it's slightly modified because I like to operate out of the project root all the time. So, you have to make sure that your bootstrap path includes that web / core. So that's one thing that I change. And basically I take, and here I'm going to promote one of my classes a little bit. In the professional module development class that I teach exactly how to do this. And really all I'm doing in a nutshell is I am taking the one from core, phpunit.xml.dist, copying it, pasting it on the project root, and making some tweaks. First tweak is this. I make sure that we get the web directory in there. If you're on a project where it's doc root instead of web, that's fine. Just make that change. This is normally okay. If you're using DDEV, this is okay. If you're using Lando, I always forget if this works in Lando or not. I think Lando has a separate internal URL that you have to use. As long as SQLite 3.5 or better is installed, you can use a SQLite for your simple test database. So I recommend doing this. And then since I just copied this from somewhere else, this is the only thing that really that I have to update right now. And normally what I do is I just got to find it. Where did I have it? Yeah. I'm just going to grab this URL. And I don't want to get into the minutia of what this is for. So just real quick, I'll say that when you're running tests, you can output for functional test, what the test sees each step of the way from an HTML standpoint. And it will output files to there's a directory in here somewhere where it's defined. Yeah, right here. To this directory. And it will preface those files with this so that they're easy to click on. So it's not even that important, to be honest with you, unless you're going to use browser test. And none of those files get output unless you change this to true. So that's like a super fast version of, part of what I teach in the PMD when it comes to PhpUnit. So really, the only thing I changed was this URL, and you don't really need it. But that should be enough to run my unit test now.
Oh,
See the test pass, and if I come in here, and I'll just run all the tests. We have unit, kernel, and functional. And so this is, I'm getting an error. Look at that. Uh-oh,
do we
getting lots
have
of errors. What did I do?
SQLite available yet?
Oh, that's right. We did talk about this. That it may not be
So maybe,
on Drupal
but
Forge.
we do have apt-get available, so we could install
Well,
it.
let me show, because I know that this is on your to-do list, somewhere in the
Right.
backlog. Let me show the other way of doing it. Yeah, so all of these errors are because there's no database, because Drupal Forge doesn't have the version that we need yet. The unit test passed because unit tests don't involve the database. So what we're going to do, and I totally forgot that it wasn't yet supported on Drupal Forge till now. But I have a way around that. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to take a peek. I'm going to open up the settings.php, default settings.php, because we just want this info right there. All right, so we're going to close that down. And in the PhpUnit, you actually see kind of the example of what you need. So I'm going to copy this bit right here and paste that over. And then, so for the username, I'm just going to grab the username. For the password, I'm going to grab this password. Localhost database name, we got to grab the database name.
Yeah, the host you'll need too, because it's not localhost.
Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, there we go. Host is right there. And the port 25060. We're going to need that as well. So for that, we just do that colon 25060. So here we've got the host and the port separated by a colon. And then the table prefix, and this is the same database where, Drupal's installed. So we kind of want to separate the tables. So I'm just going to do test. So this will prefix all of the tables for the test environments with the word test. And that's a pretty straightforward or standard way of doing things. All right. So now let's see what happens. Taking a little bit longer, and hopefully we'll get a period there. Yeah, I think this is going to work just fine. Just going to take a little bit. So it's not the beefiest hardware or the container, but I'm fairly confident it will work. This was one of my big requests. There you go. So it's going. It's pokey, but it's going. This was one of my big requests for contribution. For this to be valuable for contribution day is be able to run PhpUnit tests. And it's possible. You have to kind of go through this little process I went through with PhpUnit .xml. But I'm hoping that with time, once SQLite gets updated in the container, that'll make things easier. An auto-generated PhpUnit.xml file would be fantastic. I would also love to see an auto-generated PHPCS.xml file. That's kind of, I think, the next step. Maybe even a PHPStan.neon file in there as well, although it's not as important for PHPStan as it, obviously you can't run unit tests without PHPUnit.xml. You can't really do coding standards without that PHPCS .xml either. But in my opinion, step one is the PHPUnit.xml. The alternative without this, and this is what I've done in the past for with contributions, make my changes, push, and then just wait for this little check mark to appear. Because the tests will run once. If you have an issue fork with a merge request and you make a push to that, tests will run on Drupal.org infrastructure. But we're paying for that. I know it's the royal we spread out across the globe, but still we're paying for it. So, I guess Dev Panel's paying for it right now and the few sponsors. So thank you to them. I mean, someone's paying for it somewhere. And in all honesty, when I do this stuff using Drupal Forge here, I rarely run the whole test suite. Because normally if I'm making a change to a test, I'm going to run that test. Or if I'm making change to part of code, I kind of have an idea of which tests I need to run. So what I'm doing here is fairly rare where I'm just running all the tests. But yeah, so I think what we'll do is I'm going to you got a few more minutes, Darren? Can we go for a few?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go, can I change maybe the README? I do want to push a change just so we can see that process. And as the maintainer of Markdown Easy, I feel it's okay if is there something in the README I can change here and push while our tests are running? Requirements, installation.
You don't need that little dash under automatic because there's only one bullet point.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to, before I do that, just so my fellow contributors here, let's put a note here. I am making a minor unrelated text change to the readme.md file while demonstrating Drupal Forge. Okay, I'm just going to give everyone a heads up on that. Not that anyone's going to care, but it seems like the right thing to do. All right. Okay, so look at that. All tests are passed. So that mission is accomplished. All right, so I'm going to close the settings. I'm going to close the README. I'm going to close the PhpUnit. So on to task number 2. Let's commit and push that change. Right, so I'm going to go back to, okay, so what I normally do is I'll open up another command line. I normally have one on the project root and one in that repos directory. Whoops, cd repo, nope, what is it called? It's called Markdown Easy. There we go. Now, if I do a git status, I've got a change. And again, I'm on the branch that I want to be on. So I'm going to do git add readme. Oh, actually, I'm going to listen to Darren first. Darren from a few minutes ago. I want to configure git. So again, I'm hoping that, and I'm sure Darren, you're hoping as well, someday this will just be automatic, but it's not yet, so that's okay. Okay, so user email. Okay, there we go. Put in my email, michael@anelloconsulting.com. And then if I go, I can just delete all this stuff and it's going to be user.name, name, Michael Anello. Okay, so I've configured git add readme, git commit. Let's see. So I'm going to put the issue number. Just going to grab it from there. Numbered blue. Minor change to readme or Drupal Forge demonstration. All right. So if I try to do a git push, now I'm not going origin. I'm not doing origin main. This is, you have to get used to this. I could probably just do a git push and it would work, but I tend not to do that for some reason. I like to be very explicit. So I want to go to this issue fork to this branch. And I know that not everyone does it this way, but this is the way I'm very methodical with this stuff. So that's the way I do it. So now I should get that message up here. Needs my username, to Mike, hit enter. And now it's asking for my password, but as we mentioned, personal access token. All right, so go to get.drupalcode.org, make sure you're logged in. Go to, what did we decide?
Preferences.
Profile. Yes, we're already there. Oops, nope. Oh, golly. Oh, what happened?
Go
Where
to
did I go?
preferences.
Preferences, thank you. Preferences and then access tokens. And now we're going to create a new one. And I'll just say Drupal Forge demo. And I'm just going to expire this, just in a couple of days here. Just a couple of days. Scopes, doesn't matter. I think we just leave them all, right?
You need the right repository scope.
If we don't select any, we don't get anything, or do we get them all?
Right. If you don't select anything, you don't get anything.
So we need write repository, right? Read and write repository. I'm just doing read and write repository. That sound good?
Yeah, I don't remember if you need both, but yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to just copy it. Now I'm going to come back here and I'm going to paste in here, and I'm going to hit enter, and boom, it pushed. And if we come back over here, and if I do reload, it sees the commit that we just made. And now, as I said, it's running all the tests. And we actually have not just the tests that I just ran, but the same set of tests against the previous version of Drupal core, the next version of Drupal core, previous versions of PHP. It's a whole suite of tests that it's running here. So it takes a few minutes. But yeah, that is, and then when you're done, I think when you're done, you're done. You just close your windows and walk away, and it'll disappear in 6 hours.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you can shut it down yourself if you want to, but otherwise just shut it down by itself.
So I could, so let's do this. I'm going to close this. I'm going to close all this stuff. What's that? I'm closed out. Go back to the dev panel interface. So maybe there's a chance I want to come back to this tomorrow. I could pause it. All right. And you can see the countdown clock from 6 hours. So now it's pausing it. So this environment's no longer available. If I went back to those same URLs, if I reopen those tabs, it won't be available. But because I was logged into my free account on Drupal Forge, I could always go back to Drupal Forge, and would I go to, where would I go?
Yeah, my app. Just click my app.
Oh, my app.
The main
Okay.
button. Yeah.
All right. Let me wait till this is done before
We've got some grammar issues because we're not all native English speakers here.
No worries. Okay. So, okay. It says paused. And does that if I unpause it, does it reset the clock to 6 hours, or does it pick up?
Back to 6 hours.
So it reset. Okay, so I'm gonna close this. Where am I? I'm there. So if you go to my app. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh.
Okay, I guess it doesn't include Drupal pod.
Yeah.
Instances in this.
If we go to, what will this do? No. Can I get back there? Requests.
Okay. You can remember staging sites.devpanel.com, or you can.
If I just go to dev panel, let's try and do it this way. Okay. If I just go to dev panel, is there a way to just get there from here?
Not that I know of. Because dev panel set this environment up specifically for Drupal Forge.
Right. Okay. All right. So it seems like, so you said it was staging. Let's see. Staging.site.devpanel.com. Okay, right there. So
yeah, and if you can't remember that, spin up one of the demos, and then you'll see it in your list of apps.
So it seems like this would be a good URL right here to bookmark.
Yeah.
If you're going to use Drupal Forge regularly, because if we do this one, this is the one we just used right here,
Yeah.
I believe, right?
Right.
Oh, these are all my other ones I've been playing with. So this is, yeah, okay. So this is the latest. This is today. And then it is paused, right? And so if we wanted to, workspaces, I guess is, yeah. So right. Okay. So not a big deal. And it's always going to be staging.site.devpanel.com. Well, for now,
Yes.
for everyone, for now. Okay.
Right.
All right, cool. Did we miss anything? Do you think we got everything? The important tasks as far, looking at Drupal Forge and the extension from a contribution standpoint?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
I feel like we did.
I've like you said, we've got generating the PhpUnit file would be nice. I haven't
Yep.
had time to think about how to do that. I don't know if can you use environment variables in a XML file?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't know the answer to
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, we might have to regenerate it every time we unpause the app, just
Yeah,
in case
I mean, if you
the
can write
values
a
change.
script, right, a bash script to output the
Right.
file, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this all works, I should say, we should also say, like, if you look at a Drupal core issue, I mean, it works just the same for Drupal core. So if we
Yeah.
go to Drupal and just go to, one of these RTBC ones and go to this one. All right, so this has an issue fork. And I'm not going to do it, but I mean, there's nothing. I mean, this will work. This will pull this issue fork for Drupal core. All right, well, Darren, I think we're good. So I do appreciate your time. I'm a big fan of Drupal Forge. I love what it's doing. I love how it keeps getting better and faster. I can tell. I know that what was it, maybe 6 months ago? Like it didn't have the horsepower to run PHP unit tests, even if we knew how
Yeah.
to configure them. So we're over that hurdle, and it's getting better every time I use it. I mean, the extension, I was surprised by the how pretty the extension was now. So.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's not me. That's Vinay. We've got to thank him for that.
Well, let's thank the whole team because
Yeah. Oh, and we should mention what dev panel is used for when it's not Drupal Forge, because
yeah,
we got to plug them.
absolutely.
Uh,
Go do it.
yeah. So dev panel is for enterprises that want to manage their own hosting. So you can just buy raw hosting from AWS or from DigitalOcean or from Azure, and get your own dashboard to manage that, instead of having to pay for somebody else to do that for you. You get
Right.
your own, uh, and it can be if you have a lot of sites, it can be a big cost savings.
Yeah, it's basically you get yourself an account on one of the big cloud service providers, and then you point your dev panel at that account, and then you just
Mhm.
deploy stuff to it right from dev panel.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So big thanks to Sal and everyone at Dev Panel, as well as you, Darren, and all the other contributors to Drupal Forge. It's really a solid tool that is just I don't know if we can say it's in its infancy anymore. Maybe it's a toddler or a
It's in its awkward adolescence.
awkward adolescence, but getting better. And that's we just got to keep the ball moving forward. So hey,
Yeah.
thanks for your time. Always good to see you. And yeah,
Yeah.
all right, thanks,
Good to see
Dan.
you, Mike.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Don't forget, if you have a need for professional Drupal training, be sure to check us out at DrupalEasy.com.